you had a fun doing?
Well, I have to go get my oil change.
Good morning. Good morning. Everybody have a nice Mother's Day last Sunday? Yes. Isn't that nice? Jan's roses that she was given by her other daughter here lasted the whole time. Finally gave up the ghost this morning. The flute music I was playing, I don't know if some of you noticed it or not, but that was Roger McGee. Some of you remember Roger, he does our shows. He was definitely at the show this year. But nice music, love his stuff. So, newspaper. I always love the Ask Marilyn column because there's always something fascinating there that I didn't know, but I may have known, but always kind of wondered about. So, and of course, if you don't learn anything else at this church, you'll learn something every Sunday. So, my professor told us that it's not possible to feel the sensation of wet. Instead, we only feel characteristics that we associate with wet. For example, if you take a towel out of the dryer and it still feels wet, you're probably feeling the coolness and the pliability of the fabric. Is that true? And the answer is yes, it is. Our skin can perceive 5 kinds of stimuli: pain, temperature, touch, pressure, and vibration. As with pain, each has a wide range and variety. Using this information, the judgment that something is wet, or dry for that matter, is learned. The same goes for deeming something to be oily, soft, hard, etc. Interesting. And we do have a couple patron saints by the name of George Carlin and John Lennon.
Yay, George and John.
And John said, "I believe in God, but not as one thing. Not as the old man in the sky. I believe that what people call God is something in all of us. I believe that what Jesus and Muhammad and Buddha and all the rest said was right. It's just that the translations have gone wrong." So, interesting. And of course, we are the only church in the universe that starts our services with the Doobie Brothers. So, there you go. People on YouTube, now you know it, although you never hear it. So, because we can't play it for you guys. Sorry.
Well, tell them which one.
Do what?
Tell them which song from the Doobie
Oh,
Brothers.
Jesus is just all right. Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect. And George said, George Washington's brother, Lawrence, was the uncle of our country. And while I was going through some of my stuff back there this morning, I saw one of the letters that we had written. Dottie actually wrote this to George Carlin when he was alive. And it's to George, you the man, Carlin. You are our patron saint. Dear George, every Sunday we start our service with a few of your jokes and skits. I guess you could say we are not a very straight-laced church. However, we can be seen wholly rolling with laughter. Our next anniversary is November 5th, 2006, so you can see when this one was done. If you could email us or even snail mail us a note before then, recognizing our insanity and obscurity in patronizing you, it would mean a lot for our whole congregation. Of course, we would love for you to visit and preach, but we realize you are a busy man, and actually you are so popular your actual attendance could physically ruin our small church. But if you're interested, we could buy you a bus ticket and put you up in our hotel across the street from the church. And she inserted a picture of the economy in. Thanks in advance, George, for your consideration of our request. But, and I've said this before, we did go up and see him after that, and there have been some correspondence back and forth. We saw him at a show up at the Capitol Theater in Yakima. Thank you very much. And there were a bunch of us there. We were like on the second row or first row. And George comes out with our letters in his hand. And sure enough, he says, "We've got some weird people in this audience." Something about the Divine Fellowship. So, of course, we're all going nuts. And he comes over and stoops down and just talking to us. And then he starts his show. It was kind of cool. So George did know about us. The introduction of the traffic light predated the invention of the automobile. Yeah. It's in the book. I know it's true. It came from the internet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and I apologize in advance for anybody that's a young lady that's blonde and really does take any of this to offense, but oh well. I mean, the jokes are funny. A highway patrolman pulled alongside a speeding car on the freeway. Glancing at the car, he was astonished to see that a blonde behind the wheel was knitting. Realizing that she was oblivious to his flashing lights and siren, the trooper cranked down his window, turned on his bullhorn, and yelled, "Pull over!" "No," the blonde yelled back, "it's a scarf." right. We'll get through this stuff. Things that make you go, Never explain. Your friends do not need it, and your enemies will not believe it anyway. Charm is the quality in others that makes us more satisfied with ourselves. A synonym is a word you use when you can't spell the other one. Yep. This one was good. I like this one. Long after it became a great city, London was a haven for thugs and criminals. Charles I became alarmed over the situation, and in 1640 ordered a sweeping extension of police powers. His new watchmen were the butt of many a worldwide joke. From the king's name, rogues called an officer Charlie's man, or simply Charlie. Once established as a slang, the title proved to have surprising vitality. It attached to all constables and local police and was in wide use among American lawbreakers of the 19th century. Since it was customary for the Charlie to make his beat on foot, flat feet and aching legs, of course, were common occupational maladies of peace officers. Rise of the big-time baseball produced a crop of athletes who suffered from similar ailments. Any player who developed a muscular cramp was especially likely to strike in the legs and was compared with a watchman who said to be wary from riding Charlie's horse. From that usage, it was shortened up to simply be called Charlie Horse, and the Cincinnati Commercial Gazette commented in 1889 that a certain Mac had developed a Charlie horse which ended his ball playing the previous season. Interesting, huh? See? I told you. You learn stuff. You learn stuff. Questions without answers. Why do they lock gas station restrooms? Are they afraid someone will clean them? Would a fly without wings be called a walk? If a parsley farmer is sued, can they garnish his wages? I know. Right here, I'm just reading it. Don't throw anything at the messenger. What do you do when you have an endangered animal eating an endangered plant? If man evolved from monkeys and apes, why do they still have monkeys and apes? Can vegetarians eat animal crackers? If you choke a Smurf, what color does it turn? What do chickens think we taste like? Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, I read this sometime before Memorial Day in 2006 was the last time. So if you remember it, you've been here a long time. If you don't remember it, then hey, be here the next time. I'll do it again in a few years. One Sunday morning, the pastor noticed little Alex standing in the foyer. You know where this is going to go once you see it, so it's still funny though. At the front of the church, back of the church, staring up at a large plaque. It was covered with names with small flags mounted on either side of it. The 7-year-old had been staring at the plaque for some time, so the pastor walked up, stood beside the little boy, and said quietly, "Good morning, Alex." "Good morning, Pastor," he replied, still focused on the plaque. "Pastor, what is this?" he asked the pastor. The pastor said, "Well, son, it's the memorial to all the young men and women who died in service." Soberly, they just stood together, staring at the large plaque. Finally, little Alex's voice, barely audible and trembling with fear, asked, "Which service, the 9:45 or the 11:15? Yeah. Still cute.
You're not going to tell Bernie joke? Bernie joke?
No. I told him that today. Yeah, a friend of mine, he's a good friend of mine, he's a machinist by trade, blind, but a machinist by trade. So think about that for a moment. We've made a bunch of parts together. It's fascinating watching him work. But he told me this. He tells me silly jokes. Actually, they're perfect for the church. I'll tell his next week. Yeah, I know, it's a tease. Well, it just means, hey, you might have to come back next week.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, you scared me. Carrying a rhubarb at that. Good grief. Get away from me. Jeez.
I was just going to say there are eggs in the kitchen and rhubarb. It's just outside the door, so.
Anybody want my job? So this has been a weird week. Last week was Mother's Day. Week before that, I had this inspiration of an awesome message. I was so excited to share with you, and I had to table it because of Mother's Day, so we needed to address that. So then I look at my notes again and go, there's no energy here. So I said, okay, God, is this what we're talking about? Not necessarily. What would you like me to talk about? What do they need? How can I be of assistance? Okay. Whatever. So we've just been kind of floating for the last few days. Go, my notes again. I can make this work. I can make this work. I really can make this work. No, can't make it work. There's just no energy on it. And as the more I looked at it, the more I realized the only thing that it was gonna come from a negative perspective, and I didn't want to do that. So on the way here, so prayed all morning, read my Bible, prayed some more. Phil's been praying. I sure hope you people pray too, because I really need all the help I can get. So on the way in, I got a glimpse. With that said, I have no idea where we're going to go today. So hang in there. I'll just do my best to suit up, show up, and see what comes through. I want to start with a situation years ago. This was shown to me this morning on the way in, so I thought, well, we'll take a look at that. And this was when we were in the little church in the storefront in downtown Kennewick. And somebody needed to unlock something. I don't know. I don't remember which doors would be locked that they needed. But anyway, the keys were knotted. Have you ever had your keys knotted up? You can pull and pry and she couldn't get her keys undone. You ever experienced that? So I thought, watch this. So I picked up her keys. They're all just gnarled together. And I said, allow, and touched them at the bottom and let them go. And they went, bling. So I want to talk to you, I think what I want to talk to you about today is the power of allow. When we allow things to be. You know, there's this fine line between making it happen and getting in the way of it happening. And sometimes it's our effort that's the similar feature here. And so it's hard to know the difference between the two. How much do I need to do and how much I need to step back and allow to happen? That's a hard line to know. Anybody ever experienced that? Yeah, you just like, I should be working at this and working at this and working at this. And then sometimes, you know, you hear, well, if it's hard work, don't do it. It's not meant to be. There's your sign that, and then sometimes you're meant to work through something and have a breakthrough. Right? Have you ever had a breakthrough? You go, oh, that is so wonderful. So how do you know the difference? It's hard to know the difference, I think. I think it's a combination of the two. And the reason I think that is Genesis 1:1. In the beginning. Check this out. This is so fun. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Creator, higher power, universe, whatever that word is for you. I'm going to skip down to verse 3. It said, and then God said, let there be light, and there was light. He allowed light to experience, to happen. He said, let there be light. He didn't say, okay, I'm going to take this molecule, I'm going to rub it up against that molecule, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. It was, let there be. We speak into existence things all the time. We speak it into existence. And we don't even know we're doing it. Sometimes we speak into existence some really good things. And sometimes we speak into existence some really not so good things. Have you ever heard the phrase, that which you fear will appear? What we focus on happens. Right, wrong, good, or bad. There's no judgment on that. That's how it is. The energy that we hold within us is going to manifest itself externally from us. So if we observe something externally from us that's lovely and wonderful, we'll manifest more of that because that's the energy we're resonating at. We will allow that to express itself in our life. When we focus and observe that which is irritating us, then we tend to manifest more irritation. Have you ever gotten spun up? How hard is it to unspin? It sometimes can take days to unspin because we get wound up and then we have to unwind. And often that unwinding process is diligent effort to acknowledge the positive things. And that brings us back down to this state of neutral where we manifest, or the state of positive energy. Took a class once years and years ago, and one of the processes was big, huge, hundreds of people in this class. One of the processes was write down something you hope. Well, let's just do that. Write down something you hope. What do you hope to accomplish? What do you hope to see happen? You got pen and paper somewhere? If not, just think it in your head. What do you hope to see happen? Do you have a hope? I hope you have a hope. Because you know what? You're going to manifest whatever energy you're emanating at. And if you don't have a hope, you're going to manifest whatever is resident energy within you. Because you're going to we allow it. So by having a hope, you're focusing and shifting and fine-tuning that energy. So now, you look at that hope. I hope I get my yard work done today. That'd be a good hope. I hope to take that trip someday, whatever. Whatever your hope is. Oh, thank you. Best husband ever. Thank you. He already opened it for me. You know, usually he does have to because I tend to spill it all over myself. So now that you have your hope, do you have a hope? Everybody have a hope? I hope something. Hope something. Have some hope. Anybody not have a hope? You wouldn't admit it if you didn't. But I'm being drawn to talk about that for just a second. I don't know what I'm supposed to say about that, so hang on. There it is. So when you have a hope, or you don't have a hope, it's because you're disappointed. And sometimes our disappointments multiply on themselves. So if I'm disappointed about this, then often I'll find something else to be disappointed about, and I'll find something else to be disappointed about. Again, that manifesting what our focus is about. And when we do that a lot, then we have this state of being disillusioned and disappointed and discouraged. And it's really hard to have hope when all that you've been evidencing in your life is things that are not hope. Here's the thing. The human brain is wired to find fault. We're wired to walk into a room and see what isn't right. We're wired to step outside and see what is amiss. That was a genetic hardwiring for our survival. We're hardwired to see what isn't working so that we can be safe from that. Oh, now it comes full circle. Now I see where we're going. Okay. I hope to get you up. Hang in here. So when we are focused on the negative, it's because we're diligent to keep ourselves safe. But when we're so busy looking at the negative, then that's all we see. We can't experience love and joy and the bright hope that is really our legacy. It's been gifted to us. It's what we share with others and what's been shared with us. We can't see it because it's gone because we're focused elsewhere. So first thing we need to do is cut ourselves some slack It's a genetic predisposition to notice things that are amiss. So if you're finding things that are not working in your life right now, cut yourself some slack. You're not bad. You're not doing it wrong. You're doing perfectly normal human stuff. What I'm asking you to do, what Spirit is asking you to do through me, is to step outside of the human experience and step into the spiritual realm. Step into a higher level of awareness and draw to yourself a new perception. Allow yourself to unlock. Allow yourself to be in this state of ease. Maybe life has proven to you that it's not safe, it's not comfortable, it's all going to be difficult. That's evidenced because of our perceptions. Our perceptions filter everything. Your filter is clogged, is all. It's just focused in on something that isn't necessarily truth, but we've claimed it to be truth because that's what we're looking at. And you're looking at it rightfully so because that's human nature. Let's step into divine nature and look at hope. Look at hope. And this hope is it's not a pie in the sky, unrealistic expectation. A hope is this longing. What do you long for within? And then from this place of longing, we can restate this to an I am statement. I'm taking that trip. What was the first thing I said? I'm working on the yard. I'm getting that yard done. Now, it's up to me whether I choose to get my gloves on and go out and dig. Or, Phil, honey, would you move that rock right there, over there? I have a choice of how that's going to look or how that's going to manifest. But my intent, my willfulness, my willingness is activated then. Let me talk to you a second about intent. You know, I had somebody the other day say, well, I just don't get this intent. State your intent. It's all good. It's all good. No, I don't get that. I intended to clean my kitchen. I never got that done. That kind of intent is wishful thinking. I wish somebody would come in and clean that kitchen. It ain't gonna be me. The intent we're talking about is this spiritual intent, this higher level of intent of I'm going to allow that to happen and I'm going to do my part. Because see, there's my part and then there's God's part, Creator's part. My part is to suit up, show up, and see what happens. God's part is to figure it out. Open the door. Go, hey, go that way. Hey, here's a word. Think about that. Here's a memory. Make sense? I'm being shown, I don't know how this relates. I'm going to show you. I have to tell you. When my grandboys were, they were probably 6 and 8. We lived in another house, and Phil had built us a pond, and there was always pond scum. They loved pond scum. 6 and 8-year-old boys loved pond scum. So I was out there, and they were digging and playing in the pond. They liked to fling it at each other. So our philosophy was roll them in the pond scum, throw dirt on them, feed them sugar, and send them home. Best payback ever. That's what grandmas do, right? That's what grandmas do. So anyway, the kids are out playing in the pond scum, and one had a little net, and he'd been scooping up, and one had a stick. Looked at the one, and he was dripping stuff all over his brother. Pond scum water all over his brother. And the other one had his stick and was doing something, getting pond scum on his brother. So they were both just messing around, totally oblivious. I said, you boys are oblivious. Now, often when you use a you are statement, we're making a pronouncement. And we have to be really careful because whenever I say you are, then that's a pronouncement, and often people take that stuff on. And this was years and years ago, and I didn't know enough to not quite be that direct. So they went home, did their thing, came back. The next time they were there, they were doing something, and the younger one said to the older one, brother, you're being oblivious. which is a far better statement. Not you are oblivious, but at this moment in time, you're being oblivious. So sometimes we're oblivious. We're just oblivious to all the really good stuff in our life because we're focused on the negative stuff that we see. Whether that's in our own lives or politically or whatever. We're so focused on that we are oblivious to the really good stuff. And it takes us to shift out of that. It's time to get out of this human mindset, move into the spiritual mindset. And when we're in that spiritual mindset, that's where the power is. That's where the power of intent is. So now you have your hope. Shift your hope to an I am statement. I am doing this, or I am experiencing that, whatever. So whatever your hope was, shift it. And when you shift it now you're moving into a place of allow. You're going to allow the universe to serve up whatever's necessary for that. And here's the key. Often when we say, I intend to do this, or I am going to do this, or I am doing this, when we say the gonna, it's always out in the future, never going to happen. That's way out there. Do I am doing this. Even if it's not currently true, you're setting the energy to allow that to manifest itself. And I lost my train of thought. Back that train back up, switched gears onto another track. Okay? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Oh, gosh. I love it when they just show me what I'm going to do and I can prepare and be all ready. Oftentimes, it's that people haven't decided whether they're going to show up today or not, or people are changing and shifting. So the information is changing and shifting till you sit down and get ready to receive, and then the energy can flow through. So I don't know what I was going to talk about, so we'll go someplace else. I want to talk to you about allow. And you have your I am statement. I am doing that. I'm experiencing that, whatever that is. Okay. In the process, the class that I was doing, we got in our little groups, took it from an I hope to an I wish to an I am. And so all these little groups, hundreds of people, we stood in our little groups, there was 4 of us, and they would say their I am statement to the, one person would say their I am statement to the rest of the group. And the rest of the group had the responsibility of going, nope, not buying it, don't hear you. Until the person saying, I am whatever, got it. And for me, it was, I'm a writer. I wanted to write a book. I want to write. I want to be a writer. I hope to be a writer. I get to be a writer. I am a writer. So I was saying, I'm a writer. Yeah, I write little articles. Yeah. And it wasn't until all of a sudden something clicked inside and I said, I'm a writer. And they went, oh, I get it. You're right. It was so powerful. They cried. I cried. It was awesome. Just awesome. I had to find the emotional charge. That's the part of manifesting a lot of us forget. Is it's our job, suit up, show up, and have that emotional charge by which the universe can serve it up, can bring it to us. When God said, let there be light, He allowed that to happen, and the universe responded instantly and made it happen. Now here's the thing. Whether you believe it was a 24-hour day period, the 7 days of the week, on the first day, on the second day, He did this and He did that. Whether you believe that, or whether you think that it might have been different than that, as far as eons of time, let me just share with you one little passage in here. I could find it. Yes, I can. Do not let this one fact escape your notice, beloved. I love when they call us beloved. Isn't that wonderful? And this is from 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. Do not let this one fact escape your notice, beloved, that with the Lord 1 day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as 1 day. So if you needed to be a 24-hour period of time, that's great. If you needed to be 1,000 years between day 1 and day 2, whatever helps you sleep at night, I don't care. It's your faith. You can have your faith, whatever that looks like for you. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I hope you believe. But what you believe, that's up to you. What works for you. What works for you works for me. So allow, let it happen. That's where the power comes from. That's where the magic happens. So now you have your I am statement, right? If you just go, oh, I'm a writer, and I never pick up a pen, or I never sit down at the computer with a thought, how much writing is that going to create? None! My part is suiting up and showing up. Your part is suiting up and showing up with heartfelt willingness. I love the AA people. They have it. If you don't have the willingness, you can pray for that. You don't even have to have willingness. It's a gift. It's a gift. Willingness is this moment when you see the nangled, gnarled, chunky stuff and you go, allow. And you allow it to unfold. And we get to, and it gets to be effortless. We think we have to struggle, don't we? Struggle, gotta make it happen. Well, that's not to say it doesn't have effort. Have you ever worked at something you absolutely love doing and you lost track of time and it was just magical? That's the kind of effort. Effortless effort. Not the effort that's a struggle and, oh man, I gotta make myself do that. Now look at your hope. Look at your I am statement. Is that something you've been struggling with? If it's something you've been struggling with, it's time for a new perspective, a higher level of perspective here. And allow. Your job is to get fired up about it. I've been fired up about something. Am I the only one that tells God no? No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, we try. And then there comes the surrender, which is not really giving up. It's more like moving into a state of allow. But I had it put on my heart to do a TED Talk. I'm afraid of cameras and people. Oh no, I don't want to. It is about suicide and how often we get all hung up in suicide. Those of us who had that suicide impulse get all hung up on how we're failures. This is not working and I'm a failure and I can't take it anymore and blah, blah, blah. When the truth is, suicide is this suicidal impulse is this moment when you realize it's not working because I don't have the right tools for my destiny. I may be using the tools my parents had or my friends had, but it's not my tools for my destiny. I've got to learn some new tools. That's what that means. I recognized a couple of days ago that the first suicidal impulse I had was when I was in 2nd grade. That's a long time to wish yourself dead. A long time. And to be in a place now where the only time that ever pops up is when I've eaten something that's really toxic to my system, and then I feel really bad, and then my brain gets all screwed up, the brain chemistry gets all screwed up. Other than that, and then I just have to write it out. No, this is not really real. And I can write that out. But to give people a tool, I'm just impassioned about that. So all of a sudden it's like, okay, there's people there. I got to talk in front of a camera. But this is so exciting to share this because nobody knows this and I want to get this out. So the effort is going to be effortless. I still have to apply and all that stuff, and they could turn me down. I'm hoping they turn me down. I'm really hoping they turn me down because then I would be free of my responsibility for that. But I'd be doing my thing. It's getting fired up about something. Get fired up. Are you fired up about your hope? Then it ain't your hope. It's somebody else's expectation of you. Time to let it go. If there's not a fired up in your soul about what your hope is, it ain't yours. You picked it up somewhere. Think, oh, that's a good hope. I should have that one. Ain't yours. Let go. Because there's something within your soul that is screaming to be revealed. Just ready to jump out and motivate the rest of your life. Some of you are already doing it. Some of you are already doing it. And it feels so good. You wake up in the morning and you go to work and it ain't work. They pay me for this. How wonderful is that? Have you ever felt that way? Then you haven't found your passion yet. When you find your passion, and it may not be in the employment world. Your employment may put food on your table and clothes on your back and pay your mortgage or your rent so that you can go do your passion, whatever your passion may be. It's about finding that passion. Allow yourself that passion. You get to. You get to. And when we get into that higher state of being, that allow is so easy. It's effortless. That effort towards whatever goal that is, that hope that is effortless. Then it's like, I wish there was a longer day because I have more energy to give to that. Or, oh, I'm so excited to get to sleep because I'm tired, but I get to do this, I finish this or work on this tomorrow. That's what life is about. And you know, sometimes we have to spend hours at a job so that we can support ourselves to do the passionate thing. And it makes it worthwhile. Makes it worthwhile. And I'm just talking myself silly. Oh, look, a bug. I allow you to live. I allow you to be free. But not in my Bible. What does it mean? What does a bug mean? Well, what's bugging you? It was on the introduction. It was on the list of names and orders of the books in the New Testament. Acts. So what are you acting on? And you know, sometimes our passion comes from the thing that pisses us off. Oh, I meant that. What makes you angry in the world? I am so angry that people lose their life over suicide because they just don't know what it means. I'm angry about that. They shouldn't have to. Ever. And I'm angry that the people that are left behind are so distraught. But I get it. I thought I was doing Phil a favor when I got to that point where I was counting the minutes down. I thought he would be so much better off without me. But he could start over, he could have a new life, it'd be awesome, he'll find somebody else who's not broken. I told him about that later and he says, what? How dare you make that decision for me? Well, it didn't occur to me to talk to him about that. I just wanted to be, I thought I was being noble. Yes, I'll spend my life and eternity in punishment so you could have a better life. Our thinking gets screwed up. And our thinking gets screwed up on lots of levels. If all we're seeing is the hardship and the negativity and the difficulty of life, we have stinking thinking. It smells worse than the backside of an unwashed baboon. Now you try to forget that graphic. But we think stupid. We think stupid. Don't we? You should be in my brain. You should be in my brain. It's just a weird thing. Oh, golly. You're so welcome for that. And the next time you're thinking discouraging thoughts, think of that. Because that's exactly where you're at right now. So take your hope. Take your I am statement. I challenge you. I hereby challenge you. Take your I am statement. Take yourself out to a remote place. Go in the bathroom, whatever. It's not that remote, but you know, some of us are just not real adventurous and don't want to go out in the desert and get lost. Take yourself someplace where you're alone. And find that. Speak it aloud. I am doing that. I am that. And stand back and watch what happens after that. Because that changed my world. It didn't change it overnight. It changed me. And from that, I was never the same. And I looked at life differently. And things emerged for me differently than ever I could have imagined. Because sometimes you can't imagine where you're going to go. Because what you are destined to do is beyond your realm of comprehension at this point. But you're going to get there. State your hope. State your I am. And find the passion behind it. And see what happens. See what happens from them. Mr. Amen. Amen. Mr. Phil. We miss you, Daryl. Hurry, they're heavy. I don't know why we purchased heavy plates, but we did. Thank you. You know, it's much safer for you when I know what I'm going to talk about. I don't get quite so spun out.
No more baboon stuff.
Somebody needed the baboon today. Okay, communion. Unleavened bread, if you like that. And animal crackers, if you want to honor a Native American pathway. In this little cup is gluten-free. So whatever works for you works for us. Join us in prayer, please. Loving Spirit of light, as we take on life in a new perspective, a perspective built on hope, a perspective built on passion, we ask that you walk with us. We ask that you help us to be in the moment and see the power being revealed to us. These things we ask in the name of Jesus. Amen. Would you join us in prayer again, please, as that continues round? Loving Spirit of light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in our destiny. Help us to drink in passion for life. Help us to see your hand in all of it. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. You have a volunteer, Phil. Everyone else in church, big sigh of relief.
All kinds of volunteers today. We had drumming circle last week. Let's see.
Drum making today, but that's
I was going to say, yeah, there's drum making today, but that's pretty much full, is it not? Okay.
And you have another one scheduled in July or June. June 11th.
Okay, so if anybody wants to,
this one.
Yeah, or if you want to come and take a look and see what's going on, I guess you could do that, and come back in June and make your own drum. The process, Josie is doing the process this week, and interchange on Wednesday, intuitive tarot on Thursday, ARE on Thursday, art and soul, and also a discussion group with Christopher
I
on
believe
Saturday.
he's postponed. He's taking the summer off.
Okay. Okay.
I think.
So,
yeah,
the actual calendar on our website should always be up to date, hopefully.
Yeah.
Where this kind of gets a little bit behind, especially as the month moves on.
Life happens. Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah. No. He's going to do it after the barbecue. Yeah. How fun is that?
Oh, cool. All right. So we got a barbecue next month?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So you want to do this, huh? Okay. Yeah, we never know what anybody's going to say.
I know.
One of these days, somebody will really surprise us, right?
I know.
Don't put that out there.
Nobody always gets surprised.
Cancel, cancel.
Well, this is a surprise. Why not? Yeah, why not? I just felt like I needed to step up here, and it's been a while since I've been able to share my thankfulness, my gratitude for all of you. I love being part of this community. Every week, my husband says, "Are you going to church on Sunday?" I said, "Absolutely. I'm going to be here because I truly appreciate this community. I appreciate what we share with each other, what we hear from Spirit." And I wanted to say that I come every week not knowing what I'm going to hear, so it's always a surprise to me. And thank you. I loved your ride today. That was, not knowing where we're going and what the journey was going to be. That was fun.
Or what an unwashed baboon looks like.
Exactly.
I'm never going to live that one down, am I?
It's kind of like those little songs that get stuck in your head you can't give up for the rest of the day. Well, now we have the image to go with it. So I'm truly grateful to be a part of this community, to have you in my life. And for that, I wish to say, help share that thankfulness. We can keep going. Keep this ride on a ride. So thank you. Please share as you can. And if not, a blessing.
Amen to that.
20 years.
I want that one.
You want that one?
Almost 20. Almost 20.
We'll get it.
How fun is that? Interesting you should say on a ride, because that's where we're going to go on our guided meditation today. So somebody was tuned in. So I'm going to read some gratitude.